Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, I think I was talking that entire time and you were all waiting. Oh, I forgot to hit the go live button. No! I am so sorry. Can you guys see me now? Lyndon, Jonathan, Adriano. Let me know if you guys can see me now. I'm so sorry. I've been talking this entire time and you guys didn't even hear what I was saying. Well, it's a good thing I recorded this. That's so good. Yeah, all right. There it is. Okay. Um, wow, I'm like 18 slides in. That's hilarious. I'm going to restart because I missed you guys. I'm so sorry I missed you guys for so long. That was 15 minutes of failure. I apologize. Hello, tour operators, and welcome to another edition of webinars for tour operators. Today, we're going to be talking about 7 reasons your website fails to generate consistent sales and how to fix it. All right. Quick pop quiz before we get going any further. What do you guys think this is? Feel free to write it in the comments. What is this? Is it a squiggly line? Is it a graph? Or is it the number of baby pandas born every day? If you guessed any of these, you would be right. But what it also is the number of searches in Google for things to do in. These are the things that people are searching for online. They're searching for things to do in all over the world. This is a global search, and this is a global macro trend. Okay. It has been increasing steadily every single year since 2004. This is as much data as we can find. 2004, it continues to increase as a macro trend. I guarantee you that this will continue to increase post-pandemic. Okay, people are turning online to find things to do. I'll tell you a story. When I first started my travel business, I went around to the local kiosks, that sell the tours to like people that are staying in hotels and on the streets. And I was trying to establish partnerships, and I was like, "How's business?" And they're like, "Oh, business is okay." Like, I'm like, "Well, what's tell me more about that." He goes, "Well, it gets worse every year. I'm like selling less, every single year, even though tourism is up in our destination. Every single year, tourism goes up. Their sales continue to go down." So I asked, like, "Well, why do you think that is?" He goes, "Well, every time somebody passes by, I ask them, 'You want to buy a tour?' And they're saying, 'No, thanks. We already booked it online.'" This is the anecdotal evidence. This is essentially like that whole world of offline sales is slowly starting to diminish, and online sales is becoming even more important. Okay. Your website is more important now than it has been ever before. Okay. Not only because of the macro trend that I just shared with you, right? But there's more, and I'm going to share with you a few more reasons why it's super important for you to focus on your website right now. One is, this is Arrival. The Arrival Sales and Distribution Report. Arrival is a publication and research company that focuses primarily on tours and activities. Okay. In 2019, online channels grew twice as fast as offline channels. They say that it's existential, right? It's this existential risk not to have online and mobile booking. It's not just important, it may fundamentally put your entire company at risk. Okay. And it's not just about having a booking system, it's about having an entire website experience, an entire digital experience that people feel comfortable with, and that drives them to book through you. Right. This is a shift that's occurring. But that shift, that twice as fast shift from offline to online is actually going even faster because of the pandemic. Online has become essentially the default. That's how people are going to be looking for things from here on out. They're going to search online. And this is a massive shift in consumer behavior. It's one that was predicted to occur over the next couple decades that got compressed into an incredibly short time frame and forced everybody to change the way that they behaved, because they can't just go walking around anymore and talking to everybody. They have to do that through their devices, through their mobile device, through their computers. And Twilio, which is a tech company, a public tech company, they put out a report that says that digital transformation sped up by 5.3 years. 5 years of just like compression in 1 year, right? Google put out a report that said that online shopping doubled since March, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, right? I mean, imagine that's like a huge shift in behavior. So the pandemic is forcing people to do their work online before they get to a place. All right. And the third reason is because you should not and cannot rely on online travel agencies like Viator and TripAdvisor and Get Your Guide. They should absolutely be part of your entire channel mix. You should get some bookings from there, some bookings from your website, some bookings from offline partners, some bookings from offline, period. But fundamentally, over reliance on an OTA is a big risk, because they hold a lot of leverage over your business when that happens, when you do that. And what occurs is that, like, what they've done over the last 2 years is that they change commission rates randomly. They will change their algorithm in the way that they show their products. They will change their entire user interface and decide any way they want to display your products and tours. So it's super important that you use that as a strategic advantage, but not as a reliance, right? You need to control your own booking destiny, so to say. And the only way to do that is by having your own strategy, your own website, and your own channel to sell through. All right. So before we get any further, I'm going to introduce myself. For anyone who does not know me, my name is Vitaly Levitt. I'm the founder of ITA. For 10 years, I was a Silicon Valley marketing executive. I've generated over $100 million in revenue for technology companies. Sold my own first company when I was in my early 20s. I built my own boat trip business in the Canary Islands in Spain in 3 years to $1 million revenue run rate. And over the last 6 months, I have been obsessed with websites and how to make them better. Because I don't think that tour operators are very well supported right now digitally. So without further ado, let's talk about the 7 reasons. Number 1 reason: it does not match what people want. Basic. We're going to go back to the fundamentals here, guys, but a very, very important fundamental. It is super important that what you have matches what people want. If people don't want it, they're not going to buy it. Okay? Right now, if you were selling the COVID vaccine, you would probably do pretty well, right? It's a simple example. But I feel like a lot of people in the travel industry, they kind of like miss this point. They try to create something like, random. And they not only create something random, but then they take something random and then they put a website together, and that website doesn't clearly communicate that they have that thing. So here's a perfect example. This is a website of a tour operator in Morocco. I think it's in Morocco. It looks like it's in Morocco. But when I look at it, what I can't quite understand is what exactly they do in Morocco, right? I mean, I have to read a really big block of text in order to understand what's going on. If I did a little bit of research, I would understand that Morocco tours has a lot of demand. Luxury tours in Morocco, a lot of demand. These are number of searches per month. Okay? Best Morocco tours, private Morocco tours, Moroccan small group tours, Spain, Portugal, Morocco tours, Morocco private tours. These are all keywords that demonstrate demand. if you did a little bit of research really quickly, you could figure out and plainly see that there is demand for these particular either primary categories like Morocco tours or subcategories like Morocco luxury tours. I can't tell what kind of tours these are. I can't even tell if it's Morocco tours. I don't even know what this is. I mean, there's a little hint that I have Morocco excursions and Morocco tours here in the main nav bar, but this is not aligned with what people want. Okay. If I did a quick search on Google Trends, I'd see that if I did a Morocco tours search, it does seem to be increasing over time. So since 2016 and for 5 years, in the last 5 years, it's pretty much doubled, almost doubled in demand. It will probably continue to do so post pandemic. But what this gives me also is insights into who is interested in Morocco tours. St. Helena, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, and there's 32 more regions here that I can see and understand exactly where the demand is coming for my kind of tours. Okay, here's another example. When you look at this, is it clear what these guys do? Compare this to that. And because this website is so clearly communicating what they have and aligned with what people want, Hilton Head helicopter tour, 80 searches a month, #1 position. Hilton Head helicopter, #1 position. Savannah helicopter tours, in the top 6. Okay, it's really easy to figure out if you're on the right track by doing a little bit of research. And the way that you do that is through one of these like really easy free tools: Word Tracker, Keywords Everywhere, and Google Trends. These are 3 easy tools you can use right away. I use the reports that you just saw are from Ahrefs. Ahrefs is a paid tool. It's $100 a month for the starter plan. But any of these tools will give you demand. You could even just type in like free keyword research tool, and they most of them have like free trials and free like options where you can play around with it for free. If you want to pay for one, I recommend paying for either Keywords Everywhere, Word Tracker, or Ahrefs. So you got to make sure you match what people want. It's the fastest way to leverage and start generating sales is by putting yourself in the stream, in the flow of existing demand, instead of trying to create new demand. Okay. And I do see your chats coming through, guys. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. I hope I do answer them. Reason number 2 is that they don't trust you. And it's not that they don't trust you personally. I'm sure they got no problem, no qualms with you personally. It's just that people may not trust that you will deliver what you promise. They may not trust that you exist, right? There's a lot of fraud on the internet now, right? They want to make sure that they're talking to a real person, that there's a real company, that their money is going to be taken care of, that they have options, right? They want to feel like they're safe. So here are some reasons that people don't feel safe when they're shopping online. Okay, this is from an e-commerce website retailer, but the experiences are very similar, right? They want to be able to trust. The site displays trust marks to reassure shoppers. Okay, that's 48%. It's #1 reason is that people don't trust it, is that they don't feel like that you have the trust marks. And I'll show you what the trust marks are in a second. The second most important reason is the site displays a clear contact number and address. They want to know that you're real. So a phone number, email address, contact information, right? So they can pick up the phone. The thing is that if you have a phone number on there, some people won't pick up the phone and call you, but having it on there actually increases conversion rates just because people know that they can. Next is a friend, colleague, or family member has used the site. Right, that's how people decide if they can trust it. Oh, my friend bought something there, so I can buy something there too. Right, the site looks professional and is well designed. 32%. So if you have an ugly website, sorry, no offense, if you have an ugly website and it's not doing well, that's probably why. Okay. Here are those trust marks that we were talking about. right? These are just some examples. Verified and secured, right? VeriSign. These are mostly security badges, but these could also include like a badge from TripAdvisor. This could include a badge from a different review site, your Google reviews, right? These are all SSL encryption badges that show that that it's safe. Credit card badges that show you that the transaction is safe, right? These are all really important metrics. Here are the things that are highly recommended to improve trust online. The first impression is super important. The first thing that people see when they load your website, it has to communicate trust, value, and safety. Yeah. Trust seals and security certificates are these. Contact information we just talked about. Social proof, reviews, product reviews, right? Similar, right? Social proof and product reviews are similar, interchangeable. Statistics on adoption. We've given tours, 100 tours for the last 10 years. Sorry, 100,000 tours in the last 10 years all over the world. That's kind of, those are the kind of the things that, like, remember, I don't know if you remember, McDonald's had like a 1 millionth burger, right? People were like, oh my God, they sold 1 million burgers. It's amazing. McDonald's must be doing really well. That's a perfect example, right? Media mentions. If you've ever have a blogger or a newspaper write about you, you should include it on your website and talk about, like, here are these authoritative sites that verify us, right? That give us authority as well. Photos of humans. This is a really common one. Don't just like put a bunch of pictures, stock images on your website and like be like, all right, that's it. People want to know there's a real person there. They want the real photos. They can still be beautiful, but they want the real ones. And a blog, having a blog that you write on and talk about, what you do and where you do it and who you do it with and who you are. Those are all really important things that help establish trust. Number 3, it's hard or confusing to use. I'm going to talk about this one for a little bit because this is a really, really important one. Excuse me. There is a company called Decibel. It's a research company. They tracked 4.1 billion with a B billion user sessions across 11 different industries. These were like finance and technology and insurance and travel, e-commerce, right? They like essentially they tracked the user sessions, and they found that digital frustration is higher in travel than any other industry. Okay. That 8.7%, so almost 1 in 10, 1 in 12, 1 in 12 page views has an instance of user frustration. I mean, people aren't going to book through you if they can't use your website. Fundamentally, basic. That's it. And so consumers, and by the way, this is crazy. Consumers on travel websites are 50% more frustrated than any other industry. Just goes to show you how poorly we're doing so far with our websites. All right. And I'm not even going to mention mobile. Okay. Because if you don't have a mobile website and you're in the tourism space and your mobile experience isn't like on point, like just beautiful and fast and clean and organized and easy to use, that's it. You got no chance. All right. So here's a perfect example. Do you guys ever do this? You ever walk? This is a very classic user experience demonstration. Have you ever walked up to a door that has a handle on it, and then you grab the handle and you like try to pull the door open, and then you're like, wait, why is this not pulling? But it's actually a push door. So like there's this classic user experience example which says that like if it's gonna be a pull, then put a handle on it. If it's gonna be pushed, then put it like a flat, protector on it, right? Um, it's got to be well designed, and this is design. Okay, here's an example of a website that we just looked at. I'm sorry to be picking on these guys. I really hate to be picking on them, but I have to show you. that I clicked through on one of their links, which was tours from Marrakesh. This one right here, tours from Marrakesh, and there's nothing on the page. All right, I would jump off immediately if I ran into a blank page. And then on top of that, I see tour operators doing this all the time. What they do is that they take these mega menus, these like nested menus. So under Morocco tours, under tours from Marrakesh, I have options for 2 days, 3 days, 3 days, and 4 days. The only differentiator that I can see here is the length of time and some locations that they go from one to the other. There's nothing here that will signify whether or not I want to click in and read about this more. Okay. The issue with that is that I, as a user, will have to click through on every single one of these links and read to figure out in my own head what is the difference between these products? What is the difference between these tours? Which one do I really want to go on? That is a tremendous amount of cognitive load on a human being. They don't want to make to have to make so many decisions. They just want to go do something really cool, and they want a really easy way to do that. Okay. Oh, and then there's availability, which is like if I clicked on one of these, I'd have to go to the page, and then I have to essentially figure out if it's available. And then if it's not available, go to another page, click on that one, and then see the availability. Very poor experience. Very poor user experience. What you want is a clear information architecture, clear website structure, clear company information, clear tour information, clear navigation, clear booking process. You want to make it very, very crystal clear. If there's ever a time, like if you ever are doubt, you're like, man, is my website really that good? I should probably go check. What you should do is go send it to your mother or sister or brother or whoever, and or have them do it with you, like with you sitting down, right? And you can actually watch as you do it. And what you do is you tell them, hey, I want you to book the Marrakesh to Fez 2 day trip. Based off of the experience that we were just looking at, you would do it obviously for your own. You say, I want you to book this trip. And you watch them as they use your website, as they use your on mobile device on the computer. Doesn't matter what you want to do, but you want to test it. And what you'll see is how confused people get sometimes when they're using it, even if it's just as a test. Imagine somebody who's not related to you and is just trying to figure out what they're going to do in Morocco. Right? So that's a good test to try. So you need to make everything very clear. You need to make it organized, structured, and easy to use. Okay. Reason number 4, it doesn't answer their questions. People have a lot of questions when they're booking any kind of travel experience. Okay. And a quick gut check for yourself on this is to ask yourself, have I received phone calls from potential customers, or emails that ask the same questions over and over and over again? If you get a question more than twice or 3 times for any product, any tour, even just to inquiries about your company, if that happens, then you're not answering their questions online. And the percentage of people who will actually pick up the phone and call you and ask you a question is much smaller than the number of people who will just drop out and go find somebody else to book with. Okay, so you need to answer their questions directly online in a convenient, easy way, an easy way to digest. Okay, this is the information that you need to have for every product. Availability, photos, duration, how they get the tickets, languages that are spoken, COVID-related procedures, overview of the experience. If you're ever in doubt, and the reason why like Viator on TripAdvisor will ask you for every little thing is because that's the information that they need to deliver to customers in order for the customers to feel confident to book online, sight unseen. Okay. And if you have a website and you have a tour page, and that tour page has like one little piece of blurb of information around like what your product is, and then 3 photos, that's not going to work. You need to, if anything, over communicate than under communicate. You need to provide more information than less information. All right? We're going to keep moving. Reason number 5. Broken, slow, or outdated technology. Technology is evolving faster and faster. Right? So if you want to compete in a digital world, your technology needs to reflect that. This kind of goes back to trust. If something is broken on your website, or it's hard to find, or it's hard to use, people aren't going to trust the experience, right? This is a direct reflection on your tours. You may have the best tours in the entire world. They may be like top notch. They may be like just astronomical, like just incredible stuff, right? But if you fail to represent that through the experience of them actually trying to learn about those tours before they book, you lost them. Okay? So your technology has to be on par. Google said, we're obsessed with speed. Okay, there's a reason that they're obsessed with speed. It's not because they want to like rank websites. You know what I mean? They don't care about that. They're obsessed with speed because that's what creates a really great user experience. It's far superior. If you click a button and you look at like a website and it loads fast and easy, that is going to perform much better. People not perform in Google is one thing, but perform actually for you. You're going to make more bookings because people will find your website or mobile experience faster and easy to use. Okay. This is something that's happening actually in May of 2021, coming up in the next 2 months. Google is rolling out a major update. It's called the page experience update, and it includes something called Core Vitals. Okay, if you're curious about how this works, and then on the next slide, I'll show you where to go to check how your website's doing. But your website needs to perform really well, or else your rankings will get impacted if you don't have a performant website. And performant in this particular case, what I mean is fast. Okay. So in addition to all the latest technologies that have been developed recently, like accelerated mobile pages called AMP pages, WebP image formats, which are like a whole new generation of image formats and image compression that speeds up your website significantly, structured data formats, which allows Google and other search engines to essentially structure your information so that they can show it, right? Single page applications, which is something that never even reloads. It's a very fast experience. GDPR and security. There's all these new technologies that are coming out, right? Google is bringing out even more, which is page experience and core vitals. So like this is kind of crazy. As page load time goes from 1 to 3 seconds, your probability of bounce is 30%, right? But the more it goes from 1 to 5 seconds, 90%, 1 to 6, 1 to 10 seconds. If your website takes up to 10 seconds to load, there's a 123% chance people will bounce. That's crazy. And that means you won't even have a chance to sell them. Okay. So go to web.dev. Web.dev. It's Google's tool. You put your website in there and you will very quickly understand what your performance is, right? How your performance is. This is really the primary one that we're talking about right now. I'm not going to go into all the others, but the performance. And here's kind of where your magic lies, right? First, contentful paint, large contentful paint, right? And cumulative layout shift, right? So look at these metrics. If all of these are yellow or red, then your rankings are going to suffer in May, right? And the way to fix that essentially is getting a developer to fix your site. There's a bunch of tools that do this, but the way that they need to be set up typically requires an engineer to do it. And in this particular case, again, I'm not even going to mention mobile. Even though I'm mentioning mobile, I'm not going to mention mobile. I'm like trying to refrain from using mobile. You have to have a great mobile experience. Over 50% of all web traffic is mobile now. And in travel, it's even higher. Reason number 6, no clear online booking. And you may have online booking, but it's not clear. So what I mean by clear is this. This is a website, Travel on the Roof. Again, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I'm using your site as an example. I hope it helps though. Croatia behind the scenes. This is a multi-day tour. It's $1,800, 9 days. Looks amazing. I have no idea how to book it. I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out. I could probably click on contact us, and I could probably click around on some of the other links and figure it out. But this is unclear, right? This is not a clear online booking experience. This, on the other hand, is a very clear booking experience. Arctic whale watching in Dalvik. They've got a bunch of photos here on the top, a clear description of what this is, and a bunch more information at the bottom. A calendar and availability widget directly on the page. Super easy for me to understand whether or not this is available for me when I click on it. I don't have to open anything new. I don't have to go anywhere else. Boom, I can book. I like this. I like this product. Click on book. Think of like the last time you bought something online. When you buy something online and if it wasn't clear to like be like add to cart or buy this now, people are going to leave, right? You're not going to buy something if it's not clear how to buy it, unless you really want it, like the COVID vaccine. I don't know if you want that or not, right? So compare this one, right, to that. Very different experience, all right? Clear instructions on how to book, availability directly on the page, button with a high contrast color. Notice the big red book now button, the big green book button, the big green calendar. Right? You can't really confuse where you're supposed to be doing next. Lead visitors where you want them to go. Right? Do that with color, with size, with buttons. Right? Tell people how you want them to experience your website. All right. And the last one, reason number 7, you treat your website like a pamphlet or a flyer. You do it one time and then that's it. Right? And then you kind of change it every once in a while. So like instead of your website being a living thing, you put it up and then you forget about it and then you hope that it works. Right? Your website is your most powerful sales advocate. It's an automated selling machine, right? It will work for you. You just got to make it work for you, right? It will give you a lot more than you put in if you do it right, okay? This is how people normally treat their website process. Traditional web design versus growth-driven design. Most people are on this blue line. They build the site, 1 to 2, 3 years goes by. They spend 3 months redesigning it. They launch a new site. Then they wait another 2 or 3 years. Then they spend another 3 months and they launch another site. Where the correct way to do it is by using information that the website gives you to constantly iterate and to make iterative cycles very short so that you can actually improve on a much faster scale. So when you're doing minor improvements, you're going up, 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 and your stairway is much sharper. All of this space here in between the yellow lines are all the missed opportunity that you're missing because you're not iterating fast enough and you're not paying attention and treating your website like a living thing, right? There is a hidden layer of information that you can tap into, site search insights to see what people are searching for on your website, console, which shows you essentially how you're ranking and where you can improve and where you can invest resources in order to move yourself up higher. You can use data to continuously improve. Okay. You can use Google Search Console to understand rankings and then optimize underperforming pages. If you're on the second page for a keyword, that means that that's a low-hanging fruit. It's much easier to go from second page to first page than it is from the 10th page to the first page. Okay. Hotjar, which is another tool. I think they have a free plan still to understand user behavior. You can actually watch as people use your website, what they click on, heat maps, so you can see if things are distracting or people are clicking on the wrong things and not doing the thing you want them to do, or if there are problems or bugs, right? If people are like clicking, getting an error and they can't check out, right? And you can't collect money, you probably want to know that as quickly as possible, right? Google Analytics to understand where your customers are coming from so you can optimize the targeting. So you know that like, oh, right now people are coming from Spain for some reason. Usually they come from Poland, whatever. Analyze your return on investment by channel. Try to look at essentially, where your sales are coming from, right? If you have one channel that's doing 80% of your volume, optimize that channel, right? Page speed insights, like what we just showed you, right? To optimize your performance. Content, right? Continue to put out content that updates customers on your current status and opens up the top of the funnel and attracts more customers, more prospects. Okay. In summary, for this particular section, don't go anywhere. I got more for you. For this particular section, align with demand and with what people already want. Build trust with your website visitors. Make it super easy to use and find what they want, right? Answer all their questions directly on the site. Update the technology and make it blazing fast. Okay? Make online booking super clear and easy to use, and continuously improve your website using data. Okay? If you have any questions about anything I just shared with you, please let me know. I can dive in deeper into it. While you're doing that and while you're throwing in some questions, what I want to show you guys is a secret project that we've been working on. I am essentially like laser focused on just making sure tour operators are successful. Like literally, that's all I want to do. So I've been working on this for months now. I'm really excited to unveil a little part of it for you, as you can see what we've been up to. And my secret software project is codenamed Gondola. Okay. My ultimate mission is to help tour operators succeed. And through my work with ITA, through my work with education, through my work with these webinars, what I realize is that the secret weapon, the real secret weapon, is technology. Technology transcends what we can learn, what we can do ourselves. It allows us to automate, to streamline, and to succeed. Okay? Software is the ultimate shortcut. All right? And both ITA and Gondola are now essentially teaming up to work towards helping tour operators succeed. The more I talk to tour operators about their websites, the more of their pain I felt. Websites kind of suck right now for tour operators. If you run an e-commerce thing and you want to essentially sell books or widgets or anything that you want to make, if you want to sell something, there's so many solutions out there. You can go to Shopify and start an online store in minutes. But for some reason, for tour companies, for travel and activity companies, it's really hard. Like you build on WordPress using some kind of crappy template, or you have to hire an agency for thousands of dollars and pay them hundreds of dollars a month for maintenance, right? Or you build it on Wix, which is not built for tour operators. It's built for like salons and like other people, or Squarespace. Even none of those solutions actually cater to what travel companies need, right? And so a website is one of the biggest investments that a tour operator can make in both money and time, right? It's also one of the most important things for your business, and it is definitely one of the least supported in our industry. So I essentially brought in 3 experts to help. I want to introduce you to Jameson Hill, Anthony Ferrara, and Nathan Robinson. Okay, these are my partners in Gondola. Jameson is the vice president of design. He has design experience with Google, LinkedIn, and many other large tech companies. One of the best designers I've ever met. Anthony is our executive creative director. He's has experience from LinkedIn and Coplex, which was like a incubator. And Nathan, who's the vice president of product, who is an artificial intelligence and machine learning product manager coming from IBM Watson and Keller Real Estate. And I've essentially put these guys together, this team together, to work on Gondola, this secret project, to help tour operators build better websites. Cumulatively, these guys have built software and designed software for NFL, Google, LinkedIn, Verizon, Twitch. We started out by essentially figuring out what tour operators needed. We did a survey, which some of you guys took. Thank you guys so much for taking that survey, to understand what are the gaps? What do you guys need? What's missing? What do you have? What do you not have? Right? Besides what we knew, we also wanted to figure out how you guys felt about websites, and we figured out quite a bit. We took all of that, and we also created essentially our map of all of the inputs that go into creating a tour website. Everything. All of the little details. And we mapped it out, and we took on a pilot customer. The pilot customer was Key West Boat Trips. Pavel, who you may have seen in another webinar, decided to come on, and we gave him essentially a custom website that we built on WordPress. We took all of the principles that we had learned, both from my 10 years of experience in marketing, these guys, multiple decades in design for websites, and we put it all together, and we essentially built a WordPress site. And we tested whether or not the principles that we have established fundamentally work for tour operators. We wanted to essentially figure out, like, before we build all the software, are we building the software on the right principles? And the short answer is yes. Yes, we are. Key West Boat Trips, in just 2 weeks since he launched, jumped to the first page of Google for many keywords. And these are serious volume plays, 1,300 visits, or 1,300 searches a month, right? 300 searches a month. I unfortunately can't share with you his revenue numbers, but I can tell you, like, he jumped quite a few positions, and these are just some of the keywords that I'm tracking. He jumped for a lot of things. And he's getting bookings essentially complete on autopilot right now. He sends me a screenshot. He's like, oh, another one. Ooh, another one. Ooh, another one. Every single day for the last 2 weeks, he's been sending me screenshots of bookings. He has not only made his money back on working with us, but he's surpassed the investment in 2 weeks. You're probably thinking this is going to be some kind of crazy, like, multi-$1,000 thing. Oh my God, these guys are going to charge me like $5,000, $10,000 for this. But absolutely not. Like I said, we are here to help tour operators. I am, like, radically focused on making sure that we can help you guys as much as possible. So what we're building is a website that works for you, right? Not one that you have to work on, but one that works for you. We're embedding the best practices that we've essentially tested and established into the very fiber of this system. And it's a platform that essentially helps you achieve success. Okay. So Gondola. Introducing Gondola. We are showing you some screenshots of the software. This is very early stages. I would actually love your thoughts on this. Please let me know in the comments what you think, if you have any questions. But I am essentially entirely focused on this project right now. What we're essentially offering is ready-made templates built specifically for tour and activity operators. Templates that are designed to perform fast, optimized for sales, and optimized for Google search. We're embedding a collective 30 years of web design and marketing experience into your website. This is one of our radical innovations. Completely unique web styles that are machine learning generated, essentially artificial intelligence generated by a patented visual design system. Okay. Every single person that goes through this process is going to get different designs. And then when you pick the ones that you like, it'll generate a multiple different styles that you can pick from that are completely unique to you. I mean, it's like really, really cool stuff. It's like, I get really excited about this. We're essentially doing what an agency does for like $3, $4, $5,000. And we're doing it in a programmatic way, allowing anybody in the travel space to do this. And you guys are the very first. By the way, I've never shown this to anyone. You are the very first to see this. Okay. So I'm really excited about showing it to you. And I'm really curious what you guys think about this. We are the very first product to ever have access to this visual pattern machine learning engine. Okay. Every single website will be completely unique with its own design fingerprint, completely automated. So you set it just one time and you can build any page on your website within minutes and it'll automatically match the style that you picked. Everything will look perfect. You'll get step-by-step instructions on exactly what you need to fill out and where. You'll notice that there's going to be this whole new idea of products. So you can actually manage your entire product base without even going into your like major into the website editor. Like right now, if you want to change a product on a WordPress website, you have to go in and like change everywhere where your product shows up. You have to change what shows up in your menu bar. You have to change everything. In this system, you essentially manage all of your products in a separate area. You can do discounts, you can do special promotions that are time limited, everything, right? This will give you step-by-step instructions. Not only will it give you step-by-step instructions, but we will actually integrate with specific tools like the ones I mentioned, like Google Search Console, to show you how you're ranking for certain pages. And then we're going to essentially give you recommendations on what to do for what page for what content in order to push your pages up to the rankings. SEO built in from the ground up because it's super important for travel companies. SEO will be built into the very foundation of this thing. Okay, certain capabilities will unlock. Your website will essentially like reach certain levels and you'll be like, oh, you're now ready to do like this, and we'll essentially guide you step by step on how to make sure your website is generating consistent sales. I get so worked up about this. I'm just so excited to show this to you. Analytics that are directly integrated with your booking software. So you can see your revenue, your bookings directly from here. It'll show you what keywords you're ranking for and in what position. Okay, it'll show you where your traffic's coming from, where your bookings are coming from. It'll show you actionable information the system will use to automatically suggest next steps. Essentially going to be like a little built-in recommendation engine, right? It'll tell you, hey, you're all of a sudden you're starting to get bookings from Canada. You should let's see if there's an opportunity there. It'll show you how to optimize for Canada, right? Those are some really, really cool things that we're going to be doing with the software. What you're not seeing in this yet, because you can see there's a lot more stuff in here, you'll be able to see what people search for on your website for what availability, what dates. So you'll know when people's vacations are, and you'll know if people found what they were looking for. So like, this is like a game changer kind of stuff, right? Because if you know when people are coming and what they're searching for, and you weren't able to actually provide them a product or a service or a tour during that time, if you know enough people are searching for that, you can actually generate a tour really quick and be like, oh shit, I should open up availability for this product because people are not finding it. Like, we're actually going to give you insights into how people are interacting with your products, your services, with your website, and allow you to make very quick judgments and decisions to improve. Okay. So our goal essentially is to make a $10,000 website completely accessible for every tour operator. Like next level technology stuff for tour operators. This is the kind of thing that I wish I had when I was first starting, and I still wish I have, because I would totally move over. I'm essentially building what I want. It's not, I'm gonna move my own company over on this. But what I'm really curious about right now is, what do you guys think so far? Put it in the chat comments. Let me know. Am I off base? Am I on base? Is there something that you guys would like to see that you're not seeing right now on this? Is there something that you're like, oh man, I could totally imagine, like, this is what I really need that I'm missing? If you have any ideas like that, please put it in the chat. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna show you some more of this really cool platform. You're gonna see that you can actually edit every page that you have, right? Super easily. You see them all laid out in front of you. You just pick and you modify it. On each page, to modify any page, no developers needed ever. No plugins to keep updated. No monthly, maintenance fee to like make sure your security and plugins are updated, right? No worries that your website might break. It's always going to be updated to the latest technology. Not only that, but we're actually going to be like not just updated to the latest technology, but surpassing all of the like the standards, the fastest websites, right? These are going to be the fastest websites you can imagine. It's going to be the highest performance sites for tour operators. Images are going to load fast. Pages are going to look perfect on mobile devices. Booking buttons are going to be exactly where they need to be, right? Like, this is going to be an optimized experience for your customers, your users. That's essentially, they're going to love this experience. That's the whole point, right? So in this particular case, super easy to modify content. You just go to the page, select the thing, click on it, boom, change it, update it, and you're gone. Okay? Interested? We are taking on 10 beta customers. We're like just opening this up. We're still working on this. So you kind of have to be a little bit patient. This is not something that you're going to like flip on tomorrow and all of a sudden it works. But it is something that we're working on, and we want to work very closely with the 10 beta customers that are coming on board. We will personally work with you to make sure your website generates sales consistently. So not only are we going to essentially onboard you onto this new platform, but we are going to pay attention to every single small detail that we can in order to make sure that you're successful. Okay? I will personally make note of it. And what we're doing for that is $1,000. So the first 10 customers will be just $1,000. That's it. That's the charge. And if you are interested in working with us, go to gondola.travel and you fill out that form. And we are going to be in touch, and we're going to tell you about what our next steps are to work together. This is going to be a game changer for the industry. I'm really excited about it, and I really want to work with you guys, especially everyone on this call, because this is not a group this is not like a public group that I've sent it out to everybody. This is a very small group of people. So if you are interested, go to Gondola to Travel, complete the form, and we're going to be in touch. I will be in touch. I hope that, one, you learned something and that this was a useful webinar. It kind of helps you understand what you needed to do for your own website. Whether you choose to work with us or not, I'm always going to be here for you. If you have a question, if there's anything we can do to help, please just send me a message, send me an email. I'm always happy to help. Thank you guys so much. Gondola.travel is our temporary URL. Please head over there if you're interested in working with us. We're looking forward to seeing you guys all in person. And if you have any questions, please send me an email or shoot me a chat. Thanks.